Hi guys, so I'm going to quickly walk you through how I created my movie poster and what you guys can do to create yours. So let's start by titling it movie poster and then making sure we have this as our width and this is our height. This is like the normal pixel dimensions for a movie poster. So now we're going to open our image, or not. We're going to create new and push create. Now we're here. Okay, so what I like to do, or what I did do, is just make sure I had a movie poster kind of outline in mind. So I used this one, add to current, super big. That's what you guys want in order to make sure that, in order to make sure that it doesn't get too pixely and that you guys can really play with it. So we're going to just make sure it's to size. And I like the fact that it says like in theaters in May, whatever, because I think it makes it look a little bit more authentic. So I'm going to keep that in. I'm not going to get rid of it. Okay, so then you want to make sure that you match the layering background because as you can see we're missing some. So I'm just going to go in there with my fill bucket and fill that in. Next we're going to get rid of, make sure you're on your right layer, we're going to get rid of that title because that's no longer the title we're going to use. I'm going to actually make this an Age of Ultron poster with Avengers, so we're going to have some fun. Okay, so we're going to put Age of Ultron, and Ultron's right. Okay, so and I'm gonna try to make sure that I stay with the same kind of color scheme because I think that's funny and I like it. So we're gonna do that. Like this font. Yes, you guys, I already had most of this picked out prior to this video, so I knew that it all worked. You will not be going as fast as I'm going. It took me, I want to say, about 3 hours to really put this together, so take your time with it, you guys, and have fun. These are not going to be the actors that are in my next one. Alright, so now for changing the pictures and playing with the pictures, what I did is I just went on in here with my select tool, selected this box, and deleted this box. Okay, so now it leaves a blank space in my actual layer, which is perfect for me to be able to then change the image. So I'm going to add an image, and this is my image that I'm adding. Then I'll make sure that I'm on this tool in order to then play with it. So I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, just kind of plop that in. Then I'm going to move this layer behind my movie poster, so now it's actually inside of it. Okay? And then I'm just going to go in through and just delete those parts, making sure that I'm on that actual picture that are just kind of coming out, and now it's in. Cool. So then I would do the exact same thing for each and every one of these. The only difference is I want to make sure that this coloring is the same as all of these colorings because I like that. So what I would do is just go over here to my paint tool, zoom in a little bit, make sure I kind of have that color by selecting it. So I clicked on the colors, then you get this little, I don't know what you'd call it, little swabby looking thing, and then you can choose your color. Make sure I'm on that paintbrush, make sure my opacity and everything is where I'd like it. And then you just go in and you can paint. Do you guys see how that kind of has that little bit of a flare coming out? So that has to do with the softness. So if I wanted to make it so it wasn't nearly as soft, I can change that and then it comes out like this. Okay? What's really nice is because this is kind of a smaller picture, I don't have to make it as perfect, but I did spend a lot more time on it than I am right now. Alright, so I would essentially do that all the way around for all of it. So you guys can see more of it's coming out, so I would just go back through, go over this part, and then delete it, so now it's gone. Anyway, so essentially I'd make sure that that's the exact same everywhere. We're not going to spend some time right now and do that. In theory, that's what I would do. Then I would do the exact same thing for each one of these little boxes. And then in order to make this kind of color effect happen, what you guys have to do in order to kind of make a different opacity for color, it's different than in Photoshop. So if you're used to Photoshop, it's different in this one. what you have to do is you have to, okay, let's say I'm changing this color. Okay, so I'm changing the color of this picture. What I would do is I would add another layer, make sure it's empty, and then I'd go into the fill bucket, depending on what color I want. So I want it to be this color. Then I would change opacity up here before I even put the color in it. So I noticed that 40 tend to work the best to kind of get this kind of color scheme going on with this picture. So once I've done that, then I would put it on. Okay, if you wanted it to be a little bit darker, because, okay, so you'll notice that it made it extremely darker. The problem was, like, I went over it twice, so you'd have to undo it in order to get 46%. Okay, so you'd have to undo it, or else you're pretty much putting on 86% because it's just adding it on top of each other. Okay, hopefully that makes sense for you guys. And then that was pretty much what I did, and I just kept doing that all the way through. To keep the clean lines, I made sure that this was all behind, and in order to change up the, let's see, what is it? That's pretty much it. That's pretty much all I did all the way through, you guys. So let me show you the finished product for me. That's it. That's the finished product. So I hope you guys have fun with this. Make sure that you actually flatten your image at the very, very end. So you go over to Image and Flatten. Then it's an actual JPEG, okay? And then you would download that and put it into the slideshow. I hope this helped you guys. If you have any questions, you guys can always ask during our session or online through Google Classroom. All right, bye guys.